Hello everyone. Uh, First of all, guys, let's check whether you hear me well or not. Can you type in the chat box? And about the audio and video, do we have any technical problems or not? Do you hear me well or no? Hi, Arusik. So, you hear me well? Okay. Okay. So, what about the others? Okay. Okay, great. So, okay, I guess everything is fine. Now let's go ahead. I recommend all of you to connect to the internet directly if possible. And of course, wear your microphone and headphones and refresh your browser, okay? If you have any technical problem, just you can log out and log in again, okay? So I'm Anahit Chapuyan. I'm an English language expert and I have been teaching TOEFL for about 8 years, okay? This much about myself. So now let's begin the lesson. Today we'll discuss TOEFL iBT general introduction. It means that we'll discuss some general topics about TOEFL iBT. Of course, all of you know, or most of you know somehow about TOEFL, but there are always some minor points that needs to be clarified. Okay, so today we're going to do that. If you have any problems, just don't hesitate and tell me anytime you want. Okay. Now let's see our lesson outline. In this lesson, we'll discuss general questions, as I have already mentioned. So first step will be, what is the TOEFL iBT test? What do we need TOEFL iBT high score for? How should you prepare for TOEFL iBT? And some effective strategies to score higher at TOEFL iBT test, and a lot more. Okay. So our objectives are to learn more about TOEFL iBT test, to master some strategies for TOEFL iBT. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now I want all of you just to concentrate for a moment and write down, what is the TOEFL iBT test? I'm sure that most of you are aware and can tell me the answer to the question. So guys, I'm waiting. So what is the TOEFL iBT test? Okay. Okay, and I want all of you to be as active as you can. It is internet-based test. Okay, Zara, yes, thank you a lot. Okay, so the test, it is a test of English as a foreign language, yes. It is an examination, Thelma. Okay. It is a test that you need to pass to go to the USA universities. Okay, yeah, right. So it is an examination that is administered by the Education Testing Service, yes. So ETS is part and partial of the TOEFL test because they are the ones who organize and structure this test. It is used to measure your ability, yes, of non-native English speakers to use and understand the English language as it is heard, spoken, read, and written in the university classroom, okay? So why may you need to take the TOEFL test? For what reason? Who can tell me? I told you that this is general introduction to the TOEFL test. That's why I'm coming from the root of it, and then we'll go deeper. So why may you need to take the TOEFL test? Okay, yes, Sarah, it is one of the reasons. If you wish to work abroad, what else? Why else? To study abroad, of course, Anahit, right? You want to leave Armenia and never come back, okay, Toma, but don't be so positive, so negative, just stay positive all the time. Okay. Yes, you're right. So for taking the TOEFL test, by taking the TOEFL test, you can apply to a range of colleges, universities abroad. You can also apply for a work, yes, abroad. You can also use just TOEFL test to test your proficiency level, okay, just for yourself. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you know that the TOEFL test helps prove you have the English skills and will actually use in an academic classroom. So it is an academic test, okay? You may read a passage from a textbook and listen to a lecture and then speak or write in response, just like you would do in a classroom, okay? Uh-huh. So what is the maximum score for TOEFL iBT? The high score for it you need. So I have a question here. What is IELTS and connection between IELTS and TOEFL? So about the difference, you want to say differences in structure, I can say. IELTS has a different structure than TOEFL. Uh, but about applying to universities, I can't say that IELTS is for British or for only for Europe and TOEFL is for America because it is not this way. It depends on the university. There are some universities in Europe that accept TOEFL tests, and there are some universities in the USA who accept also, which accept also IELTS, so it depends on the university, okay? So the maximum score for the TOEFL IBT is 120, okay? The high score. Each section has a score of 30 for a total overall score of 120, okay? It is like this. You don't pass or fail the TOEFL test. Each university, as I have told you, requires a specific score. So my recommendation to you is before you start to take the test, just first make sure what score the university wants from you and then apply for that. Also, I know that TOEFL test is for working, and you just make sure what score they require from you and then start preparing, okay? So, uh-huh. Okay, how should I prepare for the TOEFL IBT? If you don't have any answers, I can recommend you to give at least 6 months if you aren't an advanced learner of English. If you are an advanced learner of English, you can give from 2 months up to 3 months. But if you are intermediate learner of English, so you'd better just give at least 6 months, 1 year to be fully prepared for the test, especially if you have never taken the test before. Okay? Uh, and it is very important when you sit down at the computer and you are taking the test, you must know all the differences, all the difficulties, all the peculiarities of the test. You should know every reading question, every listening question, the question type I mean, okay? Every speaking style, so everything. It mustn't be a surprise to you. Is 6 months enough to get prepared for that? If you are an intermediate yes, intermediate user of English. If you have intermediate level of English, so it is okay, Thomas. But it depends on your proficiency level, okay? I guess this part you understand that you must be prepared for the test fully. And as I have told you, you must make sure with the university you are applying to what score they want from you. And it is sometimes like this, that there is a section that requires higher score. For example, you must get 26 in speaking, you must get 24 in writing. So it depends on the university itself and also on the employer you are applying to. So my golden rule for the TOEFL test is like this. Structure is important, of course. And it is like this, that if your speech is structured and it is organized, it sounds beautiful. But using the language correctly and fluently is much more important. Yes? So sometimes people are focused on structure and they forget the most vital part of it, to use everything, to use the language correctly, to use it fluently, to use a sophisticated vocabulary, okay? Just saying that knowing structure is enough, I can tell you that it's not enough, okay? Okay, Toma, I can tell that it is good to know, of course, it is important to know more grammar and vocabulary, but uh, it is more important to use your knowledge, to use your grammar and vocabulary, because I can say that TOEFL is uh, taking not your knowledge but rather your skills in English. So you must show that you have good skills in English, okay? And I don't want you to know the theory of the TOEFL. Only the theory is nothing without putting it into practice, okay? You can know that after this question, I can choose this. This is just automatic, okay? And while practicing, you will see that you'll have better result than just knowing some rules to follow. Okay. Now let's go to the four sections of the TOEFL IBT test. It has four sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. In reading section, you'll have from 3 up to 5 passages. It depends on whether you have a long reading section or a long listening section, so they compromise each other. Then in the listening section, you'll have from 2 up to 3 conversations and from 4 up to 6 lectures. In the speaking section, you'll have 2 independent tests and 4 integrated. In the writing, 1 independent and 1 integrated. So after this webinar, during our upcoming webinars, we'll discuss each of them separately, okay? Uh, as, as much as we can. Now I suggest some effective steps for preparing for this test, okay? So let's start from the first step. Understand the question. I can say that this is the first and the most important step to follow. Uh, Generally, in the TOEFL, the questions give you some clear clues to decode and understand what they want from you. And like, for example, if you have explain and describe, you know that you have to explain and describe. You have to summarize. So they always give what you must do. So you don't have to worry about this not understanding it. But you must be able to decode it clearly. Okay? Is it clear to you what I'm saying? Okay. Now, okay, great. And now about this part, I want you to have a look to this exercise. I recommend this exercise to the ones who are just starting to prepare for the TOEFL test. This can be a very useful tool. So KWL, here if you can have any topic. I think this exercise mainly works for reading section, but you can use for different sections of the TOEFL. First, you write down what you already know, and then you write down what you want to know, and after you read the passage, you write down what you have learned. This way you can exercise your brain, and it can be possible that by the topic you can know a lot of things, okay? Toma will let you know. Just uh, be with us. Yes, follow our website and you'll get information. Okay. So is it clear this part for the ones who are going to prepare? This mainly works for the reading section, I can tell. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Our second step is developing academic skills. As we already know, or the ones who don't know, I can tell that for TOEFL we require 4 main academic skills. Those are note-taking, uh, paraphrasing, summarizing, and synthesizing. Okay? So these main 4 skills you will need for all sections of the TOEFL. Okay, now let's practice a little bit just for paraphrasing. This is just a brief review, that's why we are not going far. So I want you to give me the best answer. Rainforests are often located near the equator. Now tell me, which of these sentences best represents all the information in that sentence? One of them is not complete, something is missing, and the other has all the information that is in the sentence. So while paraphrasing, we need to give all the information that is in the sentence, okay? And after that, I'll tell summarizing how they are different. So who can write me? A or B? It's next to the equator that rainforests are usually situated. The place where rainforests are situated is equator. Do you have any problems? Just please be active. I don't think that it is too difficult for you to decide. Just write down one letter. Okay, thank you. Asghar. So you think that the best answer is B. And what about the others? Okay, no idea. Okay, so if there's okay, Anahid, it is written, but I can repeat. Rainforests are often located near the equator. It's next to the equator that rainforests are usually situated. The place where rainforests are situated is equator. Okay, is it clear now? Do you think A, Sylvia? Rainforests are found in an area where maximum rainfall occurs throughout the... Okay, this is your paraphrasing version. Yes, thank you, Akbar. Okay, Anais, you're welcome. Okay. Okay, now let me give you the answer. So the answer is number A. Why it is A? If you read it one more time very carefully, you will see that the word near says that it is not right in the equator. It is located near the equator. But in the sentence B, we have like this. The place where rainforests are situated is equator. Okay? So in the first sentence, we have it is next to the equator that rainforests, here we must have as, are usually situated. Okay? Is it clear why A? Because A contains all the information that that we require. Okay? And in the in number B is not fully representing. It is saying that it is right in the equator but not near it. Okay? Now let's try one more exercise. This is for summarizing. What is the difference between paraphrasing and summarizing is that in paraphrasing you deliver exactly the information that is written in the sentence. And in the summarizing, you somehow try to give a brief summary of it. Yes, the most important points, but not all of the information exactly. So now let's try summarizing. Read this small passage and tell with a sentence what is the main idea, the most important part of it. I can give you some 2 minutes, okay? Not more. Genetic modification, a process used to change an organism's genes and hence its characteristics, is now being used to improve traits. Through genetic modification, it is possible to create traits that produce more fruit, grow faster, or withstand adverse conditions. Planting genetically modified traits on a large scale promises to bring a number of benefits. I now try to find the main information here, what is most important part, and try to both summarize it, but also don't forget about paraphrasing, because while summarizing you mustn't use the words that are written here. So who can tell me? You have 2 minutes, so take your time to think and write down. A production of transgenic plants through plant breeding. Yes, this can be, Askar, thank you, this can be just the most important part, yes. But while summarizing, you can add some sentences, some more sentences. But this, for the beginning, it is okay. It is a product. Okay, the genetic modification is used to make products better. Yes, so it is beneficial, but what is it? Vera, yes, this is okay, but one important thing is missing here, that what is it itself, genetic modification, okay? Because in the first sentence we get the answer to it. And for the second sentence, it is okay as well. Thank you. Your sentence there can be the continuation of Asgard's sentence, yes? So all of you, I want to have a look to Asgard and Vera's sentences and to achieve a desirable characteristic by changing gene sequence in a chromosome. Okay, this is, Asgard, you already just went a bit far from the main sentence, yes? But the first part was okay. So try to stay within the sentence. Don't go too far. Are there any versions or? Okay, the genetic modification is the change of genes aimed. Yes, yes, great, Vera. So now it is okay. Thank you very much. So genetic modification is the change of genes. Yes. So and then genetic modification is used to make products better because in the last part we see that planting genetically modified traits on a large scale promises to bring a number of benefits. Okay. Okay, good for you. Thank you, guys. Was it clear to all of you, or unit gen modification is the process which is a process which allows us to improve the production. Okay, yes, thank you, Sylvia. Just watch your chances, okay? Improve the production. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now, I guess we can go ahead. So the third step is learning the rubric of speaking and writing sections. Why is rubric so important? Simply because they score your response according to the rubric. Okay, so knowing it, by knowing it, you can structure your response the way that it covers all the points that are in the rubric. Now let's just have a short look to the rubric of the speaking section. You know that the high score, it is scored holistically, the speaking section, and the high score is 4. So general overview of the response must cover the following steps: delivery, language use, and topic development, of course. Delivery, it means how well, how clear, and how understandable you are delivering your speech. Of course, there can be minor errors, minor lapses, but they mustn't hinder the intelligibility of the whole response. Okay, so be careful while delivering your speech. You mustn't speak the way that is unclear or not understandable. Okay, so you must speak clearly. And about the pace of speech, you mustn't hurry. Okay, but you mustn't be slow either. So the golden middle is okay here. Then language use. Effective use of course, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. This all about managing the language. If you can manage the language, it means you can use every step of it properly. Uh, Effective use of grammar, it means using sophisticated grammar structures, sophisticated vocabulary, good pronunciation and correct pronunciation. A good pronunciation is not so important as pronouncing it correctly, okay? And the topic development. Whether it makes sense or not. Sustained, it must be sustained and sufficient. Coherent and cohesive. It must be well developed. Okay, so um, the ideas between the sentences must be clear. Okay, the pauses between the sentences must be clear. So these all about the speaking rubric. Do you have any questions so far or no about the speaking rubric? Was it clear? So delivery, language use, and topic development. And I can recommend you while you are recording yourself for the speaking, just test after you finish, just test about the delivery, then pay attention to your language use and the topic development. For the topic development, of course, linking words can be very helpful. If you use them, you can keep the pace of your speech. Now about writing scoring rubric. So uh, the highest point here is 5. An essay at this level accomplishes the following. Effective addresses the topic and task effectively. All, of course, well organized and well developed. Don't forget about the details. So how is writing different from the speaking? Is that speaking is, you can use some informal language while speaking. For example, I believe these are not considered to be academic vocabulary, but while writing, you'd better use some academic vocabulary, okay? So instead of, for example, saying, I think, you can say, I'm inclined to believe. Display unity, progression, and coherence, demonstrates a synthetic variety, sophisticated vocabulary, of course, sophisticated grammar, as I have mentioned, and then demonstrate advanced grammatical structure. Uh, Here also you can make minor errors, minor lapses, but they are not counted. But pay attention mainly your grammar, your vocabulary and structure, and of course organization and the flow of sentences, whether they follow each other or not. Okay. Uh, then about the step number 4, effective preparation. Number 4, organize a structure for each section of the TOEFL. So I said that TOEFL needs structure, but it is not as important as using the language correctly. So organize the structure of organize the structure for each section. Because, for example, reading has its own structure, listening has its structure, and when you have speaking, you structure your speech. For writing, you give a structure, so you give beginning, you give introduction, so it is the beginning, you give the body, and you give the conclusion. This is how you can structure it, but don't overdo, okay? Practice with questions same like as in the exam. For example, if you prepare some questions that are from the books that are really difficult to learn and they are not the same as in the exam, so you may have some problem. So my recommendation for you is to use books like Official Guide, which is just which is organized by the ETS, and also you can use Cambridge, Kaplan. They are also effective. But Barron's, I can say that it's a bit difficult for using. So then practice at least 1 hour per day. Okay, 1 hour is enough if you are intermediate or advanced user of English. If not, so you must spend more than 1 hour. And of course, I recommend you to be positive and follow the 10 rules. Confident, actionable and note. Okay? And now I want you to tell me, do you have any questions? These are the 7 steps that I recommend you to follow. If you have any questions, you can write them down and I will be just glad to answer. Do you have any or not? About understanding the question, developing academic skills, learning the rubric of the speaking and writing sections, and organizing a structure for each section of the course. Was it clear, these steps to you? No response? Nothing? Okay. So now I want you to go back to our objective. Can you tell me what we have learned, what you have learned about the TOEFL test that you didn't know, and about the strategies? Did you learn some of them or no? Why are you so passive? I can't guess. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay, no response. Okay. So if there aren't any questions, so let me thank you all of you for attending my webinar. And I want to tell you a few words about our Karhanyan online school. If you want private classes, you can register in karhanyanonschool.com. Let me write down karhanyanschool.com. Asghar, you're welcome. You can give your question. So this is the website by which you can register for our classes. Let me read Asghar's question. Arrange a seminar on how to develop a thesis statement. Okay. You want PhD thesis you want. Okay, so it's nothing to do with the TOEFL, but we will think over it, okay? But about this TOEFL webinar, do you have any questions or no? We'll think about your proposal after. Okay. If no, now I give thank you very much as well. Generally, after my webinars, I give from 5 up to 10 minutes to questions. But if you don't have any, so let me thank you, all of you, for being so kind, for attending my webinars. But please next time be also very active. Try to participate and give as much questions as you can. Okay? Okay, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Bye.